Map Business Online video presentation. We're going to talk about demographic data and where you can access it in Standard and in Pro. I'm going to make this fast, so let's just get right to it. So in Map Business Online Standard, the first place you can access demographic data is right up here at the color code map button. And that's already been adjusted down here, so I went through my color code map button, selected my county layer, and accessed my demographic data through calculated data here. So I have my calculated data options and my demographic data options here. And as you can see, both are available. And I applied a calculated data option for population 65 and above to my county layers. So that's one place you can get access. The calculated data columns are accessed over here in Map and Data, so I can click the Edit gear, go in by county, zip code, state, and I can actually, under General, manage calculated data columns. And in this case, I had my population 65 plus, where I was able to move all of my categories for age that were 65 and older from the left side, using these arrows, to the right side, and change into data columns that summarized my various layers. Speaking of summarizing, another place where you can access demographic data is when you put a map object on the map, a circle, a polygon, a drive time polygon, any of those map objects, you have the ability to select that object and then move your cursor over the mini toolbar until you get to the Summarize button. That Summarize button immediately brings up demographic data that you can bring over to the right side, our little database manipulation tool, and then click Next, and you're able to export that or plop it on the map and use it as a quick way, a down and dirty way to quickly get all of the demographics that you're interested, up to 10 categories in that particular map object. A third way here that we're going to look at is from the labeling perspective. And in this case, I have counties selected on the map. And if I go into my Map Business Online Map Data tab and I choose the label format label option here, I'm formatting either the auto labels or the custom labels. And custom labels are what happens when you hover over the actual county. I think I have to turn this off. Hover over the actual county and up will pop a label, and I have got population selected in that. And so let's go back and look at the auto label format for formatting labels. So here's custom label, and that's where I had taken my demographic data is accessed right here for one field. So I can add one field to my label, 2 fields, 3 fields, 4 fields, and 5 fields if I want to. So in this case, I added demographic data. That's what popped up. And then the other way to do it is auto label. An auto label is the actual county, zip code, or state label that usually hangs out on top of the actual county, zip code, or state. And in this case, I've done the same thing. I've grabbed my demographic data, my population data, and plopped a little header in there. And why isn't it showing? Well, that's because Map Business Online manages the auto labels so that they don't trump your map. And in this case, I've got only the state level, so I have to be zoomed in pretty close. And what I'm going to do is move that zoom level to North America, and that will bring in my labels. Not all of my labels, but a bunch of my labels. And as you zoom in, more and more of them will come to the fore. So I'm going to put that back at the state level and make those go away. The other thing we can do is access demographic data through the data window. So if I have, for instance, zip codes or a territory or counties or any of my map layers, I can always click the More Data button and access demographic data to be included in my analysis. Brings it over, a nice little database tool, and you can do that for all the different data layers, and then you can export this data out as a report using the data window export data button right there. So now you've got this whole conglomeration this analysis that you've created, which you can export out. Another way to access that data is through the filter button. So if I click on the filter button, you can see right now down in the lower left, I've got 33,000 zip codes across the country that are boundary zip codes. And I'm going to filter them. I already have the filter set up. I unchecked my temporary reset. And when I do that filter, I'm filtering for population greater than 25,000 people in a zip code, and I click filter, and now I've got 4,800 plus zip codes that have more than 25,000 people in them, and I can export that list out. So that is a fifth way in general for you to access Map Business Online demographic data. Those 5 things that we just talked about, they include the color code map, the summarize button, the overall data window view, and the labels by county or zip code. Those are all available in Map Business Online Standard. When you get into Map Business Online Pro, all of the same functions are available, plus you have the ability to access demographic data in the Market Analysis tab. Standard does have a Market Analysis tab, and it does allow you to access some demographic data by radius. And if we look at the functions in the Market Analysis tab, there's a whole bunch of them up here that are all about drive time and driving distance queries and querying multiple data sets and multiple center points. Here is where your demographic data is available. Summarized demographics would allow you to access data, access demographic data, and apply that information to a radius. You can put a radius around the various objects on the map if you want to, and then that lets you gather demographic data for that particular areas, those particular areas around those particular points, and it adds it to your analysis, which again is exportable. And if you want to add more than 3, which was the options we showed displayed there, you just go back and do it again, and that would let you grab it. And then the final area that I wanted to really kind of highlight was you do have the ability to take a data set that you've created and basically created within Map Business Online and add information to that. So now you've got a data set you've imported or a data set that you've created in Map Business Online, and you want to add some demographic data to it to make it perfect for a presentation, which you can then do by grabbing it here. You got multiple places you can grab it, 3 of them at once, and put that information in. Oh, see, I did it. It's letting me know that I did it for the same one. And again, you've added information to your data set. So those are all the ways you can access demographic data in both Map Business Online Standard and Map Business Online Pro. Go to Map Business Online and take our free trial. Thanks.